Hello everyone and welcome to the void between reality and the land of hackin' nerds. My name is Brian, aka He of the Void, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Legacy United Cosmos. This is a figure I have been trying to find for 3 frickin' years. That's because, dear viewer, he was originally released as a Walmart subline exclusive in the Velocitron subline, and he was short printed. For anyone who doesn't know, Hasbro is a bunch of assholes who like to artificially inflate the value of their product by short printing figures. What is short printing? That's when they take the figure that everyone wants and they make it so that in every assortment, because they're no longer sent individual figures in boxes, they're sent assortments, you never know what's frickin' in the boxes. These guys would be, or this guy would be in maybe 1 or 2. That would be the quantity that would be in the box. So later on, they decided to give this figure a general release, but because of how hard it was to get the original release of this, finding this guy was next to impossible until one of my local toy stores was finally able to pick one, or I was finally able to go to it and pick one up. Luckily, he is a pretty darn good figure. So first things first, we will give you the customary look at Lay Noggin. And it's just hot Cosmos. It's just Cosmo. It's a nice noggin. Noggin is nice. Nice noggin. As for posability, he's somewhat limited, just because of how small he is and things like that. So head is on a ball joint, can go 360. Arms are on a hinge, can hinge out as well as go 360. You can get the transformation joint involved so that his arms can go back a little further. Bend at the elbows. Then no wrist articulation, unfortunately. But that's more or less because of transformation. Waist can go 360 around, although this does tend to get caught on some of the side skirt kibble just because of the way this thing is engineered and transformed. And then if you get the side skirts out of the way, he can kick forward that far and back that far on some hinges at the hips. And of course, he can do the splits, bend at the knee, and then a little bit of toe articulation, but pretty much for articulation or for transformation. He does come with an accessory. He comes with this little gun, and as you can also see after I dropped it, he can hold it so that he can wave a checkered flag, because basically the whole premise of Velocitron was they were having a race. No, seriously, that was the premise of the entire line, was some Transformers got together and said, hey, let's have a race. I know it makes as much sense as Aether Drift for Magic, right? It's like, oh, let's randomly have a death race. Okay, cool, sure, whatever. But one thing I really do like is just the aesthetics of this figure. He's just this chunky little guy that turns into a UFO. I love how thick he is. He is a little rotund. He is a little chubby. You could just kind of see him. It's like, you know, I don't really feel this intergalactic war sort of thing. You guys just like want to have a seat and like maybe eat some fried chicken or something. I don't know. Like maybe eat like, you know, go to McDonald's and stuff. I don't know. I just like, man, why are we even fighting, right? And Brian's totally not doing this to try and get the video over 10 minutes because of how simple I am. But you know what? Sometimes being simple is good. Complexity often breeds contempt, you know? Alright, I'm going to try to stop artificially padding the runtime on this one, but I can just kind of see this guy as like, he's the Grand Prix and the Grand Marshal of the NASCAR parade. He just seems like he would be one of the guys, just, one of the dudes. Sorry about that. So going into transformation is pretty simple, but honestly very satisfying. It's a neat way that he transforms. So first things first, we're going to take the gun out of his hand. Then we're going to come to this part and just flip that over like so. Then we'll come to the arms and just flip in the fists. Next, we are going to take the arms. That likes to slide up. And we're just going to slide them off of these little pegs and back, and that you will feel that click into place. Like so. Then we'll come to the back of the figure. We're going to unpeg it and flip this little green part out and just leave that off to the side for now. Then we're just going to fold these up just to get them out of the way. We're going to come to the legs. We're going to take the heels and flip that over like so. And then we're just going to flatten out the feet and we will connect those down and into place. Next, we're going to come here and we're going to unpeg the waist, fold that all the way back, and then just swing in the feet and legs. And you'll know you got it right when these pegs, there's a little hole there, a little tab there, we'll just tab down and into place and just give that a nice little squeeze just to get it down. Next, we will take this section. Probably should have done that first, actually, but we'll just turn that around. This does like to come undone, unfortunately. Hold on. Come on, get in there. Thanks. Okay, and then just straighten that out. Then we're going to push this whole little yellow section in, and then we'll just take the arms and just squish them onto the sides. And there you go. There you have Cosmo in his little UFO mode. I love this. I love this. It's so out of proportion and just chunky, and I really do love Cosmo. Cosmo's always been one of my favorite little Transformers characters. I have his G1 character, or his G1 figure. I have another Cosmo somewhere. I think it's the Universe one. Maybe I'll take a look at that at some point, although it is pretty simple. But I love this figure. And I love this little alt mode. You can just kind of see him zooming across the sky. And not to mention that in the Earthrise animated cartoon, he's voiced by Weird Al. And there is a big chunky Cosmo coming out soon from Earthrise, which will absolutely be picking up. And then you can take his little gun, by the way, and just plug that on the side so he can have some pew-pews as he's flying along. Yeah, it's a great alt mode. It just kind of scrunches together into this adorable little saucer mode, and I really do like it. So, going back into robot mode, and then we'll give our final thoughts, or my final thoughts on the figure. We're just going to take these pieces and just fold them out for now. And then we're going to take this section, hold on to that nice and tight, and just pull out the back for now. Then we're going to come down to the legs, unpeg the side skirts, and just fold those legs down, and then connect the waist. And just make sure that's pulled all the way out, and then swing that around and peg that in. Fold down the side skirts. Then we're going to come to the feet and just separate them and fold the feet down. Take the heels and just scrunch them in like so. Yeah, sometimes a little easier said than done. You have to make sure they're lined up right. Then we will come here and bring out the fists. And then we will take these sections and just fold them over. You'll see the little peg there. And just fold them over and connect them, and then flip out Cosmo's head. And we'll give him his little checkered flag so he can be the Grand Marshal of the intergalactic race. And there you go. There is Cosmos back in his robot mode. Final thoughts on the figure. This is just a fantastic little figure. I really do like him. I would absolutely recommend him if by some miracle you're able to find one. And not have to pay the sharks on eBay for this little guy, because the prices he goes for on eBay are absolutely ridiculous, and people should feel ashamed for what they do with these figures that are short printed, because you're stealing them away from people who actually want the figure instead of just wanting it to sit on a frickin' shelf for months before the thing sells. But my arguments and feelings about scalpers aside, seriously, stop stealing Pokemon cards from children. You are absolute scum. But yeah, all those thoughts aside, great figure. If you can find one for a good price, or you can find, by some miracle, find one at retail, definitely pick him up. He will be a good addition to your collection. And he's a good lad. He's a good lad. Cosmos is a good lad. Good lad. You get head pets. But that's it. There is your Legacy United Cosmos. I'm asking you to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my links down below for all the places you can find me and support me. And yeah, remember, growing old is mandatory. Growing up is optional. Be curious, be playful, and above all else, be kind. And I will see you next time. Seriously, stop stealing Pokemon cards from kids.